It takes more than guts to be a gangster. It takes good ideas. And I hope these ideas help you. Hey, what's up guys? It's your mob boss, GangsterKT. And today we're going to do a video on the Gamma Mirror match in War. So this is a crazy match. I'm sure most people have done it. This also is not a new match. You've probably been doing this for months, but still seeing a lot of people lose this mirror match, especially on pub chups, but really just in general. So I've spent a lot of time practicing this and working through exactly how it works. So I wanted to share what I've learned and how you can really maximize the outcome of this match. I'm also going to share a good Apocalypse darkhold counter. I'm sure you guys are seeing those a lot in War right now, and the Wardogs can really take them out. So we're going to go through that fight as well. Did want to give a shout out to one of my alliance mates, D-Wade. He's helped me to theorycraft this fight and do some testing and bounce ideas off of, so that's really appreciated, and want to give a shout out there. So let's move on to this mirror match here. Alright, so getting into this Gamma mirror match here, there's three main priorities I try and follow. Number one is making sure that my Red Hawk pops first. So the way that I start the match and a few different things we'll go through ensures that that happens. Number two is to optimize the Brawn alt. So that's done by positioning and the timing of when he uses that alt, and positioning timing is because of their Red Hawk special and how it can impact you. So we'll go through that in detail here in a second with the video, but making sure to do that alt, especially when the heals can help your team. So if you do it too early, your guys are full health, it still does the damage, but you don't get those heals. Those heals can heal through heal block, so even after all the alts from Red Hawks and the heal blocks are up, that heal can still be very valuable. So really optimizing that is part of the strategy for this match. And then the last thing is to stun She-Hulk. So I'd say probably 90-95% of the time I do this match, She-Hulk, my Abomination doesn't get to go because he gets stunned by their Abomination. So it should be a coin flip, but it seems like almost every time their Abomination goes first. But if yours does get to go first, stun their She-Hulk, don't let her build those charges. And then, later in the match with your She-Hulk alt maybe, or just when there's other opportunities to stun, you want to stun their She-Hulk. So before we start playing the video, I do want to talk about positioning. That is the first critical part with this mirror match. It's very important to have good positioning. So most people will go with normal logic and normal positioning for how we handle these teams, and that'd be putting the tank on the very end to minimize extra splash damage against your team. And then for Gamma, a lot of people will put Red Hawk next to the tank Hulk to make sure that he gets that splash damage so that he builds charges faster. So again, normally you'll see Hulk on the end and then Red Hulk next to him in that second spot. But for this mirror match, one of the things that's really critical, again for priority 2 to optimize the Brawn alt, you want your Brawn to get turn rewound. And I'll show why in the video. But so copying this, it's what I've had the best with from all my testing and trying different things. I have tried different characters in that middle position, but have found Red Hawk being there to be the most reliable. But again, it's really key to have that Brawn next to your Hulk there so that he gets turn rewound. So let's look at this fight here. This was a small punch down for me, but this works on 300k punch ups and more. I've taken out teams that are over 2 million. It's very reliable, kind of regardless if it's a punch up, punch down, punch cross. So you'll see there, I start with the Red Hawk alt, and that reason, the Red Hawk basic, number 2 on execution here. And again, that reason is to make sure I'm not turn rewinding them, knowing that their Red Hawk will turn rewind me. So that's going to make it so their guys go first, which builds my charges first on my Red Hawk and lets me to alt first for my Red Hawk to pop. So let's watch that happen. So there's their Red Hawk special, rewinding my guys. So now specifically my Brawn got rewound. There's their A-bomb winning the coin flip as always, stunning mine. So match plays out, and now here, my Red Hawk gets to alt first because their teams took their turn first. So don't remember what I'm waiting on, it's pretty easy, but gonna alt there, and that flips all their immunities to the opposite of that, whatever that's called again, so their Hulk can't taunt. So now I'm just gonna go after damaging their Red Hawk, try and get him down as fast as possible. And he is going to pop here soon, right now. So let's look at this. So this is what happens in this match. This is what we want and where it feels so chaotic. My Red Hawk popped. he ulted, put all their debuffs on, and then because of those hits and another hit or two, their Red Hulk then popped as well, flipping and putting debuffs on everything on my team. But there's one exception to that. Look at the guy at the top there riding strong, and that's Braun. So because he got turn rewound, he hasn't taken a turn yet by the time their Red Hulk popped, and he still has that safeguard and immunity, along with speed up there, but mainly that safeguard and immunity. So he didn't get impacted by the Red Hulk ult. He doesn't have the debuffs, and he's still in great shape. So now it's his turn, and like I said, we need to optimize his ult. Your guys here have been hit. They have heal block, but they're lower in health, and they could use healing. So that ult's going to be really valuable at this point in the match for Braun to use, and he's in the best shape that he can be without getting impacted by all the previous shenanigans. So we're going to Braun ult here on their Red Hawk, which does that percentage-based huge damage. So you can see 780k in the percentage-based damage, and now their Red Hawk is basically dead. So their She-Hulk tosses. Here I think about it a little bit. Do I just want to try and guarantee the kill on Red Hulk, but he'll probably die from battlefield effect anyways? And I say no. What's my number 3 priority? It's to stun She-Hulk. So I tried to do it. It got resisted, but it didn't really matter. So there goes their Red Hulk from the battlefield effects, getting the rest of that damage. And at this point, the match is fairly easy. It's just a matter of trying to get She-Hulk down as quickly as possible to avoid her throwing the debuffs and then taking out the rest of the characters. So this phase of the match can get a little trickier if you're doing a big punch-up. Once you get the Red Hulk down, if your team's still all alive, you should win that match. But again, can get a little trickier. Things that can hurt you here in this match, I've had before where their She-Hulk will... my She-Hulk will toss all my debuffs on their team, which is always a huge amount, and then their She-Hulk, before any other turn, immediately retaliates and throws all of their buffs, which includes all the ones I just threw, onto my team. And that's had it where it stacks up to about 20 debuffs on Red Hawk, and he just, the second it was his turn, he just died out from bleeds. So that is one lookout. I've only seen that once out of all the times doing this fight. The next thing that you can look out for is if She-Hulk stuns your Red Hawk. It doesn't happen very often with this positioning, but I have occasionally seen that occur. Normally he'll go first with his pop before it happens. A lot of times he'll resist it when that turn order doesn't happen, but that is something I can see occasionally go wrong. You can still win if you play it right after that, but it can make it harder and cause you to occasionally not get the guaranteed win. But again, that's pretty rare, few and far between. I would guess I win this mirror match. I've probably run it the past 20 times or more, and probably about 90-95% of the time. So let's look at another match we want to talk about in this video. Alright, so the second match I wanted to showcase here, you're probably seeing a lot of the Darkhold with Apocalypse instead of Scarlet Witch teams, and those can be really tough. I'm sure as Apocalypse gets bigger, it'll be even harder, but right now it's a pretty tough match, and you can use Gamma on this, but really don't want to use Gamma. For this type of team, we don't really use it for anything besides mirror matches, outside of, some unique scenarios. But one counter that is pretty reliable is the Wardogs. I've done this match probably 4 times now. Done it once in real war, 3 times in practice, and it has won every time. I will say it is dependent on the size of your Nakia. So as you know, the Darkhold are very dependent on going into stealth when they start to get low in health. That's one of their main defense mechanisms. And Nakia doesn't care. She just can attack guys in stealth. That ping she have from her passive in war does 350% piercing damage, and it's just unbelievable. And so she kind of counters and takes away Darkhold's main defense mechanism. And so it's all about being able to get Morgan down before Morgan does her special. If you can't get her down before that, then the match is over. They're going to win. But if your Nakia is big enough to where those pings over and over keep taking her down, you will be able to win this match, and it's a pretty reliable counter. And let's check it out. You will see this is about a 250k punch up for me, and that's fairly standard with what I've been doing with the testing on it. So we're going to start out, we're going to use the Nakia special against Morgan there. Just trying to get damage on Morgan, so she's the most injured character, so we use the 1 million ult there on her as well, get all the buffs on our team. Then we use the Koya ultimate on her to turn rewind and just keep doing more damage. You can see she's falling pretty fast, Black Panther attacks her. Now Shuri specials, but we still get that damage on Morgan because of the pings from Nakia. So it is just coming fast. So right there, going to pause it for a second. Agatha just ulted. That's kind of a crazy picture there with Agatha paused. But you can see Morgan was dead by then. So if you don't get Morgan down before the Agatha ult, Morgan will heal back up a little bit from Agatha's ult, but that's still okay. You still have a few turns where your Nakia is going to still have the charges to do the pings and should still be able to get Morgan down before she does her special and fully heals up. So I got her down before. That's great. The sooner the better, but this part is not mandatory. So at this point in the match, I definitely want to get Apocalypse down, but I really do want to see if I could get Agatha down next. She will stealth when she gets low, but again, Nakia can kind of work through that. So all these buffs on the Wardogs are just amazing, defending us, keeping us healthy. Here's Nakia's ultimate, which just does ridiculous damage. I've actually seen this about one-shot Apocalypse before when it pings back and forth on him, but it's just so much damage on that ult. And so Wong's got the taunt, so at this point we're going after him. Nakia is out of charges right now, so we don't get those back, and that's what I'm reading here. If if the Shuri ultimate gives more charges, and it doesn't, so I just use the Shuri basic. Black Panther ults here. He did take out Doctor Strange, so of course that's amazing. He gets another turn, but that's not necessary to win this match. It's all about getting that Morgan down quickly. And then you just use the power of the Wardogs, which is incredible in war, to tear up the APOC darkhold. So it is important as you can. I mean, this match is pretty much over, but getting that disrupted on Apocalypse so he doesn't get the offense up and the speed up when you're hitting him, that is really valuable. Again, in this one it didn't matter as much, but some of the other testing that's been a little closer I've done, that can be critical getting that disrupted on him. So as you can see, Wardogs tore that up. Again, that was about a 250k punch up, so really good to see, and they are reliable. Feel free to use them. Wardogs are just amazing. Still loving them. Alright, so that's all I have in this video today. Really appreciate you guys watching. I will say thanks so much for all the comments and support I've gotten as I've continued to be newer and trying to do this. Wanted to give a shout out to a guy, Galfis. I ran into him on Discord. He'd commented on a bunch of my videos, and so I was able to talk to him for a minute. Seemed like a real cool dude. But again, just those things mean a lot, trying to do this and getting the motivation and making sure it's type of information that you guys like. So hopefully this video helped you today. As always, I give you my word that this is the best advice I have. All I have in this world is my balls and my word, and I don't break them for no one. Peace.